Welcome to episode 309 on the 6th of January 2020. The first live episode of 2021, and we have so much to discuss today. Let's start with reading of a chapter from David Baldacci's The Fix, starring Amos Decker. Milligan took out a small electronic notebook from his inside coat pocket and scrolled down the screen. While he was doing that, Decker watched as Wainwright removed the sheet from Berkshire's body and prepared the instruments necessary to perform the autopsy. And Meredith Berkshire, 59, unmarried, substitute school teacher at a Catholic school in Fairfax County. She lives, or rather lived, in Weston. No relatives have come forward, but we are still checking. Why was she down at the Hoover building? We don't know. We don't know if she was even going there, and she wasn't scheduled to teach at the school today. Walter Dabney, 61, married with four grown daughters, has a successful government contracting business, does work with the Bureau and other agencies. Before that, he worked at NSA for 10 years, lives in McLean in a big house. He's done very well for himself. Did very well for himself, corrected Decker. His wife and kids, we spoke with his wife. She's hysterical. The kids are spread all over the place. One lives in France. They're all coming here. Let's continue with the story. Any of them have any idea why he would do this? We haven't spoken to them at all, but nothing pops so far. They are apparently still in shock. Decker next asked the most obvious question. Any connections between Berkshire and Dabney? We are just starting out, but nothing as yet. You think he was just looking to shoot someone before he killed himself and she was the closest? She was definitely the closest, said Decker. But if you are going to kill yourself, why take an innocent person along? What would be the point? Maybe the guy went nuts. We might find something in his background to explain his going off the deep end. He had a briefcase case and an ID. It seems he was heading to the Hoover building. Was he going to a meeting? Yes, we confirmed that he was meeting to go over a project his firm was handling for the Bureau. All routine. So he goes off the deep end, but he still could put on a suit and come midtown for a routine meeting. Milligan nodded. I see the inconsistency, but it's still possible. Anything's possible until it's not, Decker replied. Let's take a small break right now. Anything's possible until it's not, Decker replied. Decker walked over to the stand next to Wainwright. Murder weapon was a Beretta 9 mil. Contact wound at the base of the neck with an upward trajectory. She died on impact. Wainwright was readying a striker saw that she would use to cut open Berkshire's skull. She said, definitely jibes with the external injuries. If Dabney dies, you will be doing the post? She nodded. The Bureau is taking the lead on this since Dabney was a contractor for them and it happened on their doorstep. So I am your girl. Decker turned away from her and said to Milligan, has the FBI assigned a team to the case yet? Milligan nodded. Who's the team? Do you know them? I know them very well because they are us. Decker blinked. Come again? Bogart's team, meaning us, has been assigned to the case. But we do cold cases. Well, that's what the meeting today was about. They were changing our assignment, cold to hot cases. And since you were on the scene of this one, it made sense to let us work on it. So we are a go. Even though I am a witness to the crime, it's not as though there's going to be any doubt as to what happened, Decker. And there were lots of witnesses to what he did. They didn't, they don't need you. But I came here to do cold cases. Well, we don't get to decide that, Decker. The higher ups do. And they can just pull the rug from under us like that without even asking. Milligan attempted a smile, but when he saw the troubled expression on Decker's face, the look faded. It's bureaucracy, Decker, and we just have to follow orders. At least Ross and I do. I guess you and Jameson could call it quits, but my career is locked up with the Bureau. He paused. We will still be catching bad guys. Just for newer crimes. You will still get to do what you do so well. Decker nodded but hardly looked appeased by Milligan's words. He looked down at Berkshire's body. The pulse of blue assailed him from all corners. He felt slightly sick to his stomach. Wainwright glanced over and registered on the name on Decker's ID. Wait a minute, Amos Decker? Are you the guy who can't forget anything? When Decker didn't say anything, Milligan said quickly, yes, he is. Heard you guys have solved quite a few old cases over the last several months. Principally the Melvin Mars matter. It was a team effort, said Milligan, but we couldn't have done it without Decker. Decker stirred and pointed to a purple smudge on the back of Berkshire's hand. What's that? Let's have a closer look, Wainwright said. She gripped a magnifying glass set on a rotating arm and positioned it over the mark. She turned on a light and aimed it at the dead woman's hand. Peering through the glass, she said, appears to be a stamp of some sort. Dominion Hospice. Decker took a look through the glass. Dominion Hospice. He looked at Milligan, who was already tapping keys on his notebook. Milligan read down the screen. Okay, got it. It's over near Reston Hospital. They handle terminal cases, obviously. Decker looked at Berkshire. If the mark is still on her hand, presumably she went there today. A shower would have taken it off. Do you think she went to visit someone? Asked Milligan. Well, she wasn't exactly terminal until Dabney killed her. He abruptly walked out without another word. Wainwright looked at Milligan with raised eyebrows at this sudden departure. He kind of just does that a lot, said Milligan. I have sort of gotten used to it. Then you are a better person than I am, replied Wainwright. He held up the striker saw because if he kept walking out on me like that, I might just clock him with this. Well, this ends chapter 2 of this book. We shall resume chapter 3 in the next episode. Now, let's talk about something more interesting, something that has garnered headlines over the past 1 week. The bio bubble controversy where the Indian players were caught napping with their photos revealed on social media and pseudo media, and then they were sanctioned with being kept separate from the team. Though they registered negative, they were still sanctioned. And now, with the third test match between India and Australia beginning tomorrow, what is going to be the playing 11? Let's look at Aditya's playing 11 for tomorrow's match. Now, even KL Rahul has injured himself in the nets. That is why I am not a proponent of net session, because that is where the most injuries come than in the real time matches, because you are batting in a closed environment. You tell the bowlers to bowl their fastest balls, bouncers, and whatnot, and then you are not fully protected. You are in your training gear, which means you are wearing shorts and not fully protected as far as your wrists, your arm, and your other parts of the body is concerned. So you injure yourself. That is why I am not a fan of next session. With Rahul injured, it means that Hanuma Vihari might just keep its place in the team. So let's look at all the 22 players who will be on the field tomorrow for both the teams. The biggest news is that the news that has captured attention is that Rohit Sharma from India, David Warner from Australia are back in the team, and it's almost like a balm, almost like an antidote to what has happened over the last two matches. Rohit Sharma and David Warner, their experience, their attitudes, and the presence they bring about in the team means that the opening order is now solidified. With Prithvi Shaw not scoring too many runs, with Mayank Agarwal also struggling to score, it could be possible that Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill could be the designated openers tomorrow. And for Australia, it could be a debut for Will Okosky and David Warner. Despite his 75% match fitness, they might just draft him into the team. Let's go forward. At number 3 and 4, by design and default, Pujara and Rahane make it at number 3 and number 4. For Australia, Labuskania and Steve Smith will be at number 3 and number 4. For India, Hanuma Bihari will stay at number 5 because of multiple injuries to multiple batters. Prithvi Shaw and Shubman Gill, they don't want to risk him. Prithvi Shaw and Mayank Agarwal, they don't want to risk them playing. Rahul is injured. Virat Kohli is back. They don't have too many options, which means Hanma Bihari, as the all-rounder, keeps the place in the team. Interesting. Then for Australia, it will be a shootout between Moses Enriquez, Travis Head, and Matthew Wade. One of these three will be lucky enough to play, which means that I would think that Enriquez or Head might just get a nod before Matthew Wade, because they already have a keeper in Tim Payne who is doing well. They will not need an extra keeper. And if Tim Payne is injured, if we are looking in that direction, then they can get Matthew Wade as a like for like replacement. But the but for number five, it's a shootout between Enriquez and Travis Head as the all-rounders. So they may not bowl too much, but they could be useful if the captain needs to rotate his bowlers. At number six, for India, it has to be Rishabh Pant. There is no discussion on Rishabh Pant's place in the team. Whether he is a good keeper or not, that's something that can be discussed for years to come. But Rishabh Pant is in my team. At number six, they will continue to have Cameron Green because he is that all-rounder who can come in and bowl 7-8 overs and give rest to the fast bowlers and spinners. Then Jadeja and Ashwin at number seven and number eight are going to be my all-rounders. Yes, Ashwin hasn't contributed with the bat in the manner he is supposed to. But still, I would rather have Ashwin than Kuldeep Yadav with all the respect to a Kuldeep Yadav. So for me, it's number seven, Jadeja, number eight, Ashwin, and then number nine, Bumrah. Well, Bumrah at number nine, a risk, but that's the way one goes with it. The number nine, Bumrah. Then it's a shootout between Thakur and Saini, Shardul Thakur and Navdeep Saini. It's going to be a risk because Umesh Yadav is injured. He's back in India. Mohammad Shami injured, back in India. Virat Kohli is back. They would be sending Rahul back, and they're all out for 3 to 4 weeks. Means they may or may not play in the matches against England, but that's a long way to go. So Thakur and Saini are going to be between Thakur and Saini. Will play one of them. So who would be a better option? Well, both Thakur and Saini are better batters than Umesh Yadav or Mohammad Shami. So I would definitely go with one of these two. Who will be the lucky ones? Well, that depends. Both are 29. Both haven't played too much as far as the red ball game is concerned. As long as you play, for me, whether it's red ball, white ball, pink ball, it is irrelevant. 50 overs, 20 overs, 5 days, that's irrelevant. As long as you can bowl, you are in the team. So Bumrah won between Thakur and Navdeep Saini, and number 11, Siraj, who impressed in the previous match, he keeps his place. Now let's hope for the next two matches, including the one that starts tomorrow, there are no injuries. That's one thing one is hoping on. And then number 11, Mohammad Siraj. For Australia, there is no question. 8, 9, 10, 11 will be Cummins, Stark, Lyon, and Hazelwood. And if they need an extra spinner, they have Labuschagne and Travis Head to do the job. So that's the 22 players who will make it to the team tomorrow. Do we expect any surprises as far as the team is concerned? Well, let's see. I don't know what the team management is thinking as far as surprises are concerned, but I think these are the 22 best people in there to play. For Australia, there was no question of number 6 to number 11, number 1 and 2. Obviously, with both the individuals recovering from their respective injury, one's injury was with respect to concussion, the other one was with respect to groin and hamstring. So both are recovered. They have taken a long break and they are back. So these two individuals are going to play. So these 22 individuals. Now let's take it further. What else is to be expected in this particular match? Of course, it's 2-1. It's 1-all. And now with an inexperienced bowling lineup, the most experienced guy being Bumrah with 16 matches, Siraj, the other experienced with 2 matches, and Thakur with 1.5 match. Now it's going to be a risk. Yes, they have an inexperienced bowling lineup, but that's how you gain experience. Yes, Mohammad Shami no longer around, Umesh Yadav no longer around, injured, going back to India for rehabilitation and all the other things that are needed. But still, for me, they are the best This is the best team that there can be. What else? Okay. Of course, as I said in the opening order, it's Rohit and Gill. Well, will they risk Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, or will they keep Mayank Agarwal in the team? Well, that's a question that needs to be answered. We shall answer that later. Of course, but the biggest news is Rohit and Warner. Well, the excitement around Rohit Sharma's inclusion is such that as if the other players don't even exist, which is surprising and frightening because then you're disrespecting the other players. Yes, Pujara and Steve Smith haven't made the runs they are popular for, while Cummins has made Pujara his victim. Ashwin and Smith have had their own battles or own mind games. And of course, everybody is saying that they expect Steve Smith to start making runs. Yes, there is an enormous respect for Steve Smith. There is no doubt about it. But what about the rest of the team? What about Shubman Gill? Let's talk further about this Rohit Warner story. Two individuals injured, without which there was no opening partnership. You had Joe Burns, who has been dropped and is playing for the domestic tournament, the domestic World Cup, the Big Bash League. He's enjoying himself over there. That's his forte. Then Rohit Sharma, controversy surrounding his injuries, so much happening over the past few days. He is back, Warner is back, but let's revise the 22 players again. And I'll again tell you why these are the best 22 players, especially as far as the Indian team is concerned, with respect to injuries galore. Rohit and Gill opening, no doubt about it. Good strikers, they will not be scoring at 1 run per over, that's for sure. Yes, they will have to play in a cautious manner in the first 7 to 8 overs, but that's the way you play this particular format. You play cautiously, you hit fours and sixes, come and Stark, Hazelwood steaming in, swinging the balls, reverse swing happening, spinner going to play a huge role. Maybe Lion gets a shot in the first 7 to 8 overs. One doesn't know what either of the team has planned. Pujara, yes, issues surrounding his form, but then who are the other individuals? They don't trust Shaw. They don't trust Mayank Agarwal to do the job. So Pujara and Rahane have to be at number 3 and number 4. Hanuma Vihari, yes, he hasn't scored runs, but he has the experience. He is young. He is 26 years of age. He can do the job needed. He is that all-rounder despite having the 5 bowlers, and there's no harm in having 3 all-rounders in the team. If we can call it 2.5 all-rounders in this context, but let's go with 3 proper all-rounders. For me, Jadeja, Ashwin, and Hanma Vihari are the all-rounders in this team. Rishabh Pant, no question about his exclusion. Vidyaman Saha, I'm sorry to say, but his career is done. That's the end of a semi-successful career. That's goodbye. Then Bumrah, Thakur, or Saini and Siraj, despite their relative inexperience, they can do the job. Looking at Australia, let's go from number 7 to number 11. No way are they going to change number 7 to number 11. Payne, the keeper, Cummins, Stark, the all rounders, Lyon and Hazelwood can do the batting if needed. Then number six, Cameron Green hasn't lit up the stage, but he'll do the job if required. And then a shootout between Enrique, Head, and Wade. Do they need an extra keeper or will they go with an extra all-rounder? That's the dilemma the team management will have as far as the Australian team management is concerned. 3 and 4, Labuschagne and Smith as the semi all-rounders. They can bowl if needed. And then Warner and Will Pokoswi, they can also do the job. They can also score fast. So I think the best 22 players, and with all the controversies about strict quarantine rules surrounding the pre-match discussion, yes, they are unhappy, and the board and the Indian Cricket Board is once again up to its bullying tactics, saying that the players will not be conditioned to hard quarantine rules. Well, that's a debate that can be carried on. Of course, a few Australian players saying that everybody is under quarantine, even the Australian players have to follow those quarantine rules set by the respective state governments. So let's see what happens. Now, this was the decoding of the 11. Now, let's talk about legends. For me, of course, Rohit Sharma has surprisingly been inducted into the legendary status. Well, I won't put him there right now. It's still a long way to go. But as far as the legendary status go, I would put Jadeja in that legendary status. I would put Ashwin in that legendary status. And of course, the fast bowlers will do it. But one guy about whom we are criticizing so much because he hasn't made runs or dropped a few catches is Rishabh Pant. Well, let me reiterate again. 10 years ago, Rohit Sharma was thought to be more of a liability than an asset in the team. The question was, why is he there? Yes, he is talented, but why is he there in the team? That was the debate around Rohit Sharma. And today, we cannot think of having a team without this guy. So let me predict, and it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler that Rishabh Pant will be the talk of the town a decade from now. Every time Rishabh Pant is not in the team because of injuries or any other reason, the question will be why is Pant not in the team? Pant should be in the team. Pant is 23. Rohit was 23 when he was not making runs, when nobody wanted him in the team. Then fortunes changed, as we know, and today it's a different story. So let's not get too caught up in this legendary thing. Talking about legends. Well, in Raw's episode yesterday, the WWE Championship match was between two future Hall of Famers, Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, keeping up with the script, once again defended his WWE World Championship title. And this is not an opponent he hasn't had to grapple with. All of his opponents have been on the front foot. He has always been on the defensive, but somehow, just like he did when he when he beat Brock Lesnar for that title, when he won the Royal Rumble in 2020 and he beat Brock Lesnar, he's beaten almost every opponent except the loss to Roman Reigns, which was more of a champion versus champion match. So that doesn't really count. So Drew McIntyre has defended the title against every possible opponent. And then comes the bombshell. Once the match finished and Raw was about to go off air, entered Goldberg. Goldberg, a former champion, a Universal Champion, he lost his Universal Championship to Braun Strowman briefly in WrestleMania 36 in 2020, and now he's back exactly after 11 months, and now he is looking he and then there was a confrontation between Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. Now let's see if Drew
It's
McIntyre
11 hours.
can defend his title against Goldberg at Royal Rumble. That is going to be a very interesting prospect, which means that the next couple of episodes, as far as Raw is concerned, will be around this. Drew, Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg for the WWE World Championship match. It won't be a surprise if the WWE management focus all their energy, all the scripting, all the hype around these two individuals, each in their own right with their own egos, with their own theory of becoming legends. So it's going to be a very interesting prospect, which means that the next two episodes of Raw, which will be on 12th and 19th of January 2021 at 6:30 a.m. IST, this will be the big news. If the Royal Rumble is scheduled for 25th of December, January 2021 at 5:30 a.m. IST. So let's see what happens. But on the other hand, Roman Reigns hasn't had much of an issue defending his title because it has been interfered by his cousin Jey Uso. So will Roman Reigns also find another formidable opponent? Well, that remains to be seen. Now, let's end this show by singing a very interesting song. The song titled Fake It Till You Make It. You think you're gonna come and break my heart. I'm seeing better when I'm in the dark. You leave me standing in the pouring rain. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I lost all your money on the color black. You sold your soul but couldn't win it back. They gave you nothing but a note in hand, and I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And flying high on the wings of a wasted life. Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa. We could be kings. Just some kids from Pacific Heights. Just watch me fake it, till I make it. Just watch me fake it until I make it. I try to make my way and never quit. My real life just don't compare to this. Just leave me dreaming. Never wake me up. No, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Every night I swear I feel it coming. Oh, tearing all the nothing into something. I'm flying high on the wings of a wasted life. Oh, whoa, we could be kings. Just some kids from Pacific Heights. Just watch me fake it, till I make it. Just watch me fake it until I make it. Every night I swear it coming, tearing all the nothing into something, and flying high on the wings of a wasted life. Oh, whoa, we could be kings, just some kids from Pacific Heights. Just watch me fake it, till I make it. Just watch me fake it, until I make it. Well, this ends the song section from today's episode. And for the next episode, we have another special episode for all the viewers. It will be the live commentary of the day two between India and Australia, and it will be live at 5 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So, as we come to an end, let's finish this episode on a high. This ends episode number 309 on the 6th of Jan 2021 See you in the next episode on 8th of Jan 2021.